All right, with Frankie Luvu, after the first day of padded practice, how'd it feel to get the pads back on? It was a little bit shorter session, but I'm sure it felt good to feel like a full football player again.
Oh, yeah, man. It's good to get the pads in, get a little hit here and there, man, get the jitters out, but no, it was a good first day, man. So, looking forward to be moving forward with it.
One thing that I think has been interesting to talk to so many of your teammates about is the camaraderie, not just amongst position groups, but amongst the entire team.
Right.
And I always think of all the training camps that I've covered where there's fights and, like, dudes are going to get feisty. This part of football is hot. Y'all are hitting each other.
Right.
But does it feel different going into these padded practices in terms of the offense, defense, the closeness, once you get out there that, like, you kind of see that other person differently than maybe you did in the past in other places?
Man, I think that the biggest thing for us when we come out here, I think the main thing is to compete, but compete at a level where I'm getting my teammate better, but also from his lens, he's like getting me better. So there's like a fine line between, yes, there's going to be fights at every training camp, but then, we cut it off then, we move to the next play, but it's just, dogs just being competitive, You put a lot of alphas in one room, man. I feel like everybody's up here. So, like, for us to come out here and have that level of accountability and our standards and, we step off the field, everybody's healthy, even though we got the work in, and that's what we want to do when we step off the field.
Are there particular guys that maybe you're outside of your position group that you've gotten close with over these last couple of months through the spring and then early on here in the summer?
Yeah, man. I mean, pretty much my linebacker core, I'll be with them. D-line, I'll say Pitt, my dog. We see it in the special teams, Bobby. And a lot of the coaching staff, Ken Norton and George, man, they've been doing a good job. And pretty much everybody, man. I feel like spring was like really quick. It happened so quick. We didn't get to, see each other eye to eye every day, but man, now we out here, we building that team bonding and moving forward from that.
I'm sure you've been asked a version of this question a million times, so I'm sorry to ask it again. But playing with Bobby, a guy who's going to the Hall of Fame, the knowledge that he has, was there something that you did not expect? Because I'm sure you were like, oh, he's going to see the game, great. There's going to be stuff that you're like, I'm excited to experience this thing that you were looking forward to. Is there something that you weren't looking forward to that has popped up that you didn't know what you didn't know about playing with a guy who's got that kind of brain and that many years under his belt?
I just think I didn't, little things, coming from running backs, depth, his body language and things he tells where his pass and run, man. I feel like that's a huge thing I got off him. And then just like his practice habits, he's not a very vocal, rah-rah guy, but like he's more lead by action, and I think a lot of us, follow to that and a lot of everybody kind of bought into that. So, but the biggest thing for me, just seeing him, how he works, come out every day. And, not everything is very intentional with him, his steps, his punches. So little techniques and fundamentals I feel like I picked off of how his game is, and I kind of take that.
Frankie Luvu here on the Hoffman Show on the Team 980. That word intentionality keeps coming up. We talked to Tap in the spring. He used that word a lot. DQ's used that word a lot. Can you give us maybe a story, an example of something that was intentional in a way that's different than whether it was what you experienced in New York, Carolina, high school, college, whatever it is, just something that really kind of embodies that word?
I think the togetherness, that's very intentional. A lot of teams, especially this year, we got a lot of new guys, a lot of, from the bottom to the top, coaching staff, so to see everybody bought in and intentionally wanting to win, and that's the main goal. It's like you don't see that everywhere, coming from the Jets in Carolina, we preached about it, but we never really lived about it. And, as my time here so far, man, it's nothing but intentional in everything that we do, meeting rooms, on the field, how we looked after our bodies, and, just get 1% better.
There is at least one familiar face for you. What's it been like having Chinn here with you throughout this process?
Oh, man, Chinn. Man, I was happy when we got him. So I was like, man, I know what he's like, and I know what he can do to help this team. So to have him on the team, man, and just have him right behind me, it's like, man, I feel like we're going to go everywhere we go, you know what I mean? But Chinn, man, he's one of them players, a high-energy guy, man. Just going to put his pads on somebody and is not scared to come down in the box and, to feel his presence, So, man, I'm just super excited to work with Chinn and especially, man, everybody that's here. So, yeah.
For you, we all, I think, on the outside are anticipating this mixed role of some pass rush, wherever that comes from. Obviously playing in coverage, traditional off-ball linebacker stuff. What's it been like for you to kind of expand your game and build? And I'm sure it's still early in the process, but what's it been like to build that position, the Frankie Luvu position on this team?
Oh, man, it's fun. They got me off the edge, got me off the ball, got me lined up at the field, got me on special teams, man. I take all that like take advantage of most opportunities I get, man. So I came off with special teams, and then that kind of built my brand of, how you go about it, because I feel that's the glue to offense and defense is in that core. But having all that positions and putting me in those scenarios, man, I like it. Like I want them to put as much on my plate and see me perform and make plays out there. So that's what I came here to do, and that's the reason why I came here. And just build a team environment of winning dogs and some BMF, some bad mother, you know what I mean.
Thanks for making me not bleep that.
Yeah, nah, you got it.
I always like to, in these interviews in this time of year, get to let fans know you guys off the field a little bit. So real quick, I was reading that you have a lot of rugby players in your family. Is that how you kind of started and then transitioned? What's kind of the transition for you?
My pops, he played rugby. But a lot of us kind of like played it, back in Samoa, you got like little pickup games, after you do your chores and everything. So that was kind of like, the game back then. But man, two of my brothers, they played, and then a lot of us. I'm the youngest out of 8. I got one sister, all boys, and in that household it was a lot of competitiveness, and we all played soccer growing up, and then rugby was kind of in there, and just pretty much our parents decided go do this, do that.
So how'd you find American football?
Man, so one of the coaches back in was coaching at Washington State with Mike Leach at the moment. His name is Coach Joe Salavia, and he's also from the islands as well, from American Samoa. And he had a bunch of guys that he came recruiting at the time, and so every year he came down and visited to recruit kids. There was like a huge poly pipeline coming, so he had like a whole roster coming in. So I was kind of blessed that he came and recruit a lot of us, and even to this day I kind of thank him, him and Mike Leach and the whole Washington State organization for giving me an opportunity. Kids from the island, man. There's a lot of talent out there, but I don't think we have enough resources to take it back to the islands and see what the talent we got back there, man. Because we got some, people like me, Are
there any others that have made it to the NFL?
Yes, there's a man. Daniel Ekwala, he plays for the Patriots. Jelani Tavai, Isaac Sopoanga, and then Jesse Saapolu was on with Troy. He came back down. Troy Polamalu came back down to Samoa my senior year, and he threw a huge camp. Man, I think he opened up, eyes for Samoa to have kids come off the talent. I think that's what kind of, when he brought that camp down. So that's something I want to do to get back to the islands, man. And for him to do that, I feel like I got a shot, So from there on out, I want to do it so somebody else can be where I'm standing here today. So that's just kind of, exposing our talents back home, man, and seeing that we do got talent, and go from there.
That's awesome, man. I can't think of a better way to wrap it. Appreciate your time, Frankie.
Bro, thank you for having me. Thank you.
What's up, kiddos? It's your boy Clinton Yates from ESPN. It's the Hoffman Show on the Team 9-8. Tell your mama I said what's up.